Welcome back to the Transform Your Mind to Transform Your Life podcast. This is Life Coach Myrna Young, and you are listening to 5-Minute Fridays with Coach Myrna. And today I want to talk to you on the topic of 6 rules of the mind. You know, as humans, we are body, mind, and spirit. And each one of these entities comes with principles that govern them. The mind is the software that controls the body. It is the faculty that's used in imagination and thought. The phrase, "you are what you think about most of the time," shows how powerful the software of the mind is. So today I want to give you a few rules of the operating system of your mind. 6 of them, 6 rules of the mind, right? So the first one I want to share is the law of language. You know, we can talk to the mind using language, using affirmations, and direct the subconscious mind to believe what we're saying. I know a lot of times people say that, if you make affirmations, they saying things like, I am wealthy, I'm abundant, I am, I have self-esteem, all these different things. You're saying it, but something in the back of your mind saying, that's not true. I am broke, I'm not wealthy. But the way that you talk to the mind is that you talk to the mind and you shut off the part of the mind that's saying that it's not true. And you just basically direct your mind to what you're saying. For example, if you are becoming forgetful, you can talk to the mind with this affirmation. I will remember everything I read. I will become like Google. Wherever my brain asks for information, my mind will go immediately and retrieve that information from the server and answer the question. I will have total recall. Now, the reasons you gotta say the affirmations all the time, several times a day, is because you wanna bypass that system that says, no, you're not Google. You can't remember everything. But actually, the reality is that we are. Every single thing that's happened to us in our life is recorded right here in our hearts, right? And you can go back and retrieve any of that information. That's what they do when you're under hypnosis. So you can. It's just that the mind selectively remembers things. So if you tell it, hey, that you will become like Google and I will not forget anything, and that as soon as I ask for information, it will be presented to me. And sooner or later, you will find that you will have total recall. All right. Number 2, the mind responds to all thoughts, real or imagined. If you fear flying or going into an MRI machine, 2 of the typical ones, I picked 2 typical ones that a lot of people have fear about. Instead of telling your mind that flying is a death trap or that the MRI machine feels like a coffin, tell the mind that you love the time to yourself in the MRI machine. And imagine that you were on a beach and that the clouds are dark because it's just about to storm, and that you so love the storm. Then when you are in the MRI machine, you will not think of it like a coffin, but like spending time to yourself on a vacation. Now, I'm one of the few people that love to fly. And when I fly, I imagine myself shooting up to heaven and that I'm talking to God, or I'm in the presence of God. So whatever you can do to stop your mind thinking that it's going to be a fiery death, that you're just going to plunge, down to the earth and burn up, which is the reason that people hate flying, because that's that fear. You just switch it around. And if you do that ever so often, sooner or later, you will start to reprogram your mind, the software. And when you get into a plane, you will feel that you're going, to have in the presence of God, or if you go to an MRI machine, you will think, hey, I have peace. Nobody's bothering me. I have peace. And that's, one of the ways that we can reprogram our minds with thought. All right, now the next one is one that was new to me when I read it. I knew the others, right? But this one was new to me. The mind responds to feeling and not a logic, right? So I'm going to use the example of kids in an orphanage would cry at the end of meals when their plates were taken away from them, because in the past, whenever they had a meal, they were not sure when they would get the next meal. And even though they're in an orphanage and they get 3 meals a day, they still cry when the plate is taken away, because their minds are still programmed to the feelings of hunger. Research shows that it takes about 2 years to reprogram the brain with the new feelings of having food all the time, and that they will never be hungry because they're getting 3 meals a day. As a foster mom, I was right in this same situation, because I would have foster kids hoard food under the bed, under their pillows. I mean, it was actually disgusting. And they would go and take a plate of food and put it under their pillow or under the bed. And I'm not sure, do they think they can eat that after they have it there? But they were hoarding food because a lot of the kids in foster care came out of situations of abuse where they were hungry. So that's what they did. So if you're ever in that situation where you're finding that kids are hoarding food or something along those lines, then here's a biohack for you, right? The brain does not think logically, it thinks with the feeling. So if you come across that scenario, then one thing that you can do is to put some nuts or snacks in the kids' bag and tell them that whenever they're hungry, they will always have something to eat right next to their hands, right? So that will kind of start to reprogram the mind so they would stop hoarding food. Okay, number 4, your mind is a self-fulfilling prophecy. For example, if you tell your mind that you are a horrible speaker and that you will get up on stage and you will blank out and not remember a thing from your presentation, this will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You will get up on that stage and draw a blank and not remember anything, right? Instead, what you want to do is tell your mind that you're an awesome speaker and you're the best and you know this work inside and out, and you will get up on stage and your higher self will take over and the words will just flow out. This is the self-fulfilling prophecy that you want the mind to produce, not the other one, not the one that you're blanking out and you don't remember anything. So be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you tell your mind. Another one that's in the same vein is, if you prepare for the worst, you will manifest it. An example I want to give is, a lot of women say that they're not going to tell anyone that they're pregnant before the 3rd month of their pregnancy, because they feel that within between when they find out they're pregnant and the 3rd month, there's a high percentage of miscarriages, and they don't want to miscarry and then be embarrassed by telling people that they are no longer pregnant. And they follow up this train of thought of miscarrying by going into the bathroom and checking to see if they're spotting several times a day. Never do that. Because when you prepare for the worst, it has a way of showing up. Instead, prepare to meet your child, right? Tell your child in the womb that he or she has purpose and he or she will be born to fulfill that purpose. Tell him or her that today your spine is forming, tomorrow your hands and feet will be formed, and in about 30 weeks, you will be born completely healthy and perfect. And I can't wait to meet you. That is how you do it. That is how you prepare. It doesn't say that it wouldn't happen, because things happen, but you wouldn't be the one that's attracting it and manifesting it with your thought and your mind. And finally, number 6, I think everybody knows this one. The mind can't distinguish between reality and fiction. So start visualizing what you want. Is it $50,000 in your bank account? Is it a palatial mansion? Is it a husband and 2 kids? Is it whatever it is that you want? Start visualizing it. Tell your subconscious mind what you want, and it will maneuver the universe to bring it to you. Because whatever you hold in your mind will manifest in your hand. That is one of the principles of the mind. That's one of the principles of the universe, right? So these were the 6 principles. We have language, we have feelings, we have self-fulfilling prophecy, we have don't prepare for the worst, we have the mind can't distinguish reality from fiction. So I want to leave you with this thought, that you are the captain of your ship. Your mind is the rudder. It takes the ship wherever, in whatever direction you point it in. And the direction that you're pointing it in is the mind, the software of the mind that's running everything. Okay, so I hope that you were inspired today. So start becoming the captain of your ship, right? Think about what you want into existence. So this has been Coach Myrna Young, and you have been listening to 5-Minute Fridays with Coach Myrna. I want to invite you guys to join my life coach group on Facebook. In there, we have hundreds of coaches giving you daily inspiration to keep you inspired all week long. And I will see you back here next week, same time, for another episode of 5-Minute Fridays. So until next time, namaste.